From Bristol Borough, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Wow, who would have thought that Sessions with Mary Jane would end up in Bristol Borough, Pennsylvania?
You did.
Yeah, you thought it was your idea, Joey.
It actually wasn't my idea. It was actually our guest's idea.
Oh, would you like to introduce our guest?
Well, no, I will introduce him in a second, but he was very excited because we worked together on his podcast, Young Black Suburban. And he is former boxer and current boxing gym owner, businessman, entrepreneur, host. Did I get all of your titles?
Well, yeah, except the janitorial.
I'm
also a janitor.
Father.
And custodian, father,
everything.
Son.
Yes, also.
Tim Witherspoon Jr.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming down to the gym. It was really out of necessity because my schedule is really ridiculous.
Hey, no problem. We respect the busyness, man. Like, you're busy.
Get it.
It's good.
You get it, and it's a great gym.
I appreciate it.
We love it. Yeah.
You also live a very, I guess you kind of have a 9 to 5-ish. But like non-traditional hours for sure. It's just like 6 to
first of all,
10 every day.
So Monday through Thursday, I work 9 to 9.
Oh, yeah.
Tuesday nights as well, I'm in a charity bowling league, so I'm going from 9 o'clock until 11:30 at night. You only see me on the weekends where I cut my hours to 3 o'clock at the gym, but then we add on the podcast, so I'm here until 8 o'clock. Some days, you know. So is it for me? It's like there is no clock. It's 24 hours.
Yeah, I feel like that's almost what people expect you to do business-wise too. Now that we have our phones, we have our computers, we have our emails. Oh, hey, you up right now? Hey, I have a question.
You're always on. You never turn off, no matter what.
And you have to train yourself, you know, because part of like having good mental health is being present in the moment. And if you're always on your phone in that world, like, it's not going to be good. Like, other shit's going to suffer. So you got to, know when to turn it on and turn it off.
Yeah.
It's hard, but...
True. Like now, you need something.
Tommy, what's up, Tommy?
Hey, what's going on? Yes.
I'm in the office.
Shouting Tommy.
Yeah, we're recording an episode.
We're.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tommy.
So Tom is the oldest member of the gym. He's also part of the charity bowling league as well.
Cool.
And he got me some food.
Oh.
Yo, what a guy.
He also
the essential.
He also likes THC as well.
Oh, nice. This is called Sessions with Mary Jane. So.
I appreciate it, Tommy. What do you need? Some? We're good. We're even.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna finish talking.
Yeah, you finish that with all the giggles.
Bye, Tommy.
All right, I appreciate it, man.
Nice meeting you.
What a guy! Just came in, dropped the sandwich on.
Well, we bond over these sandwiches, man. This is
what we got here?
an Italian tuna. If you guys didn't hear that, Tommy wooed in the background. Which you can only get this style, I guess. I've only ever had it from Northeast Philly. So he just took class. I just taught him. He went down to Northeast Philly, got a sandwich, brought it back. That's great.
Oh,
That's
wow.
so nice.
Yeah.
What a pal.
Well, we, community-driven gym.
Yeah.
You do for people, it comes back.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
That's actually a good segue, huh? To our topic and challenge for the day.
Yeah.
Here comes a segue,
How
guys.
do you feel, Tim? Are you ready?
Yeah, it's, the Mary Jane's starting to kick in.
Yeah, Mary will hold your hand throughout this whole episode.
But she'll challenge you and push you sometimes, too.
No problem.
Yeah.
She'll make you forget stuff.
Yeah.
She throws you for a spin.
I'm used to her.
Yeah.
So your challenge is to list as many, and don't think of it in terms of getting that many on the list. It's just as many as you can.
Like, are we gonna be talking and then I can pop in and
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Interrupt us whenever you want.
Yeah.
We'll leave in and out.
Yeah.
family businesses. Is that what we say? Like
We're saying the family business because you share a trade with your father.
Yeah.
So we figured your challenge today could be finding some families who have a similar trade like
father,
that.
son, mother, daughters, father, kids, like whatever. It could be any industry.
Father and daughter.
Any industry, and you'll.
This is a pretty easy one, I think.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
all
it's
right.
gonna be,
All right, okay.
That'll be good. We'll see. We'll see as we get deeper.
If I have enough time.
Yeah, so we have a ticking clock, so yeah, so like this
And
will,
you can't use your phone. You can't use
I
anything.
don't
You can't
need
look
to use
anything
it.
up.
So, Talent Harris and his
Yeah.
father. Can we write that down?
Oh,
We can
wow,
write it
that's
just because he's in the
That's
extended
true.
Late
Yeah,
Night Hump
that's
universe.
true.
He's actually going to be in our short film that we're
That's releasing.
finishing up editing soon and releasing
Okay.
soon.
good first pick.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on my show as well, so.
Yeah. So I guess he is.
You mean comedians?
Yeah.
That family?
Yeah. Family of comedians.
Mhm.
Also, I guess like after talent, like maybe we should keep it more famous. Just for,
More famous?
More famous,
I mean,
just
I
the-
felt like his dad is pretty well
His
known.
dad is
He
very
is.
well known, and especially since we're a Jersey-based
Yeah.
podcast,
Yes.
his dad is super well known, and he's gonna be well known because he'll probably end up on SNL or some
Is that
shit
his name?
next year.
Right.
What
What's his dad's name?
talent?
Oh, it is
Or
also
no,
talent.
he goes by talent, but I don't know if that's a.
There's just
he's
so
like
much
talent.
talent.
Duck
Yeah,
comedian.
and that's the thing.
Talent
It's like if your name is talent, you better be talented. Like, they're talented. That's the thing. Yeah. Because like, how embarrassing would it be if your name was talent and you weren't good?
Yeah,
you know,
that's like.
then they'd be like, oh,
yeah.
but he's another problem.
Parents really helped you.
Yeah.
He'll probably be a guest on this in the future, so it's good that we
Yes.
we added to
We're
our
jumping
like
in here. Yeah.
encyclopedic like references.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, is this a Patreon? Is it not a Patreon? We don't even know as we're recording this. You know?
This episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll find out by the end of this episode.
It's definitely a premium guest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
For
you guys
sure.
are getting this for free,
Yeah.
you're getting a premium guest.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
So let's go marry Kate and Ashley.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's good.
Let's go marry
That's
Kate
good.
and Ashley.
Yes.
See, I feel like it's just too easy.
If you want to challenge yourself, you can make it more father-son. You can make it more mother-child.
That's too hard.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So-
we were
like-
gonna narrow to that, and then we're like, that difficulty level went.
We
up.
wanted you to say Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen, so we extended it
I
to
mean,
everyone, you know.
That's the
We were just gonna do
Yeah.
father son duo, but
father and son is pretty hard. I know Floyd Mayweather Sr. and Jr. They both were
Yeah.
professional fighters.
Yeah. Was Senior as good
Oh,
or
he
better?
was. He contended for world championships, but I don't think he ever obtained one. But he fought Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah.
Like all the top guys, and also his brother Roger Mayweather, who was Floyd's trainer. They both were good professional fighters.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So what's crazy, like when people come on my podcast, they're always like, similar to you and your dad. You know, my dad and my uncle were both professional fighters as well.
oh, and your uncle.
Yeah, and my uncle, and I had an aunt that married into the family who became a professional fighter.
Oh
I
wow.
have a cousin, Chaz Witherspoon, who's a professional fighter. There's 5 of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's-
So it's really the family business.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, what is it about boxing do you think that like bonds like generations of a family together and
Yeah,
makes
what
them
was
all
the
want to pursue
attraction?
it?
I can't speak for everyone else. I think for me, I have 5 sisters. I always wanted to get out away from them and play sports outside, and I was just always athletic. And then boxing was a way that I could be around my dad because he was still fighting. And then it's just something that just becomes a part of you. Like I say I started boxing, like 4 or 5 years old. So like at that early age, I realized that like what my sisters was doing was not cool. And with the kids, like I was playing hockey, football, like doing those kind of things. And then when it came, like my dad took me to the boxing gym the first time. It's like, whoa, this is it.
Yeah.
And then like my son, his name's Tim Witherspoon as well. Same way, but I think he's even more intense. Like when I was his age, I wasn't studying YouTube and watching. Like he's coming to me with like Dad, this guy stepped over this way, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, fuck, we got to do it again. You can come in.
Yeah, that's true, because he just has so much more sources of information at his fingertips.
Exactly. Which is no excuse for me. It's just I was more of a physical person. I like doing. I hated, I still don't really care about watching boxing. Thank you. I really don't care.
Another food delivery of my friend who just dropped in also. So
this is my fitness instructor, Omar. He's actually he's from New Jersey. Well, not from. Sorry. He lives in New Jersey by way of Canada.
Whoa, very cool.
Yeah.
People like Canadians.
You can pull a chair out if you want and eat. But yeah, I have no idea. My grandfather didn't box or anything like that. Really, what it was for my dad and his generation was his neighborhood in South Philly was just boxing. Philadelphia, period, is a boxing town, but his neighborhood has like 5 world champions in it alone. So everybody is like a gold rush of boxing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it's just a sport where everybody wishes that they can do it, but not everybody can do it. So, I guess just like everybody else, people in my family are like, whoa, I'm attracted to it, let's do it. And some of us stuck to it, some of us didn't.
What was the thing that was hard for you when you got into it? Was it something like mentally, physically? Like, was there something that you had to conquer for you to get comfortable with it?
It is
or just natural?
Yeah, for me, it's like, even if my dad wasn't who he was, I feel like it was my calling. Like, this is what I would be doing. Yeah. I think the hardest thing for me is just having the energy to keep it going day in and day out, working out 3 different times a day, being away from your family, and having to be an asshole because you have to be an asshole when you're fighting. You have to believe that you're better than other people. Because if you have any doubt, then you already lost, So you guys probably wouldn't have liked me when I was a professional fighter. Yeah. Now, you would have liked me. I was a nice guy, but I had a little bit more of a cockiness about me. But it's something that they install in you, because you're traveling every day to a different gym, boxing another human being. I attribute it, and not to say that I am a soldier or anything like that, but it's similar. You got to stay away from your family, train day in and day out.
It's discipline.
And you know that you're scheduled to fight another human being on this date. So your mind, they're training you like a soldier or a monk where you have to stay in and just focus on that. Having that happen and having kids and having a family and getting older, the hardest part was just maintaining that schedule and keeping that going. But other than that, fighting was easy. Like, it was fun.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome. Who are your role models?
Your
dad.
Yeah, my dad to an extent. That's a weird relationship because he's taught me a lot of good things about the sport, about life, and a lot of bad things about the sport and life too. Floyd Mayweather could probably say the same thing about his father. Really, for me, my biggest role model was actually just life, man. Experiencing other people, going and traveling through boxing, and really realizing that just people are people wherever you go.
Right.
And once I realized that, like, shit started to become easier, like relationships, and I realized that this person isn't really bad. We're all somewhere in the middle. That actually, like, for me, is like the key to life. Why I'm successful here, because I let everybody come in and prove themselves first. I'm not just prejudging people.
Yeah.
So that is really life is, I would say, is my biggest role model. I don't have a favorite boxer. I don't really look up to any politician or anything like that. I just like, experiencing what I experienced and learning
great.
from that.
Yeah.
What do you think is the best representation of Philadelphia boxing in like film or TV? Because I feel like people don't know Philadelphia boxing because they get the fake like Rocky stuff, which is like a derivative of like stories from Philly. But
so I don't know how many Philadelphia boxing movies there are. I guess there's 7 or 8 Rockies, or.
There's a
2
lot.
Creeds.
especially
So
if
I was in I'll drop it. I was extra in the first Creed. Was shot in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So I was at a actual boxing match the first time I met Sylvester Stallone. I didn't really we weren't meeting like this. I shook his hand and he walked past. But he did a speech that day and he really paid homage to Philadelphia boxers, the real boxers, and really said, I appreciate all the recognition I get for playing Rocky, but there are real fighters who really risk their lives and really deserve recognition as well. So even though, he's made a lot of money off of Philly boxing, he still pays homage to, the real fighters. He does do things for fighters in Philly, so we can't really knock him so much, even though it's a movie.
Yeah.
Well, he made like boxing popular on a broad scale for a lot of people.
Yeah,
it wasn't
exactly.
accessible to.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they were just like, oh, every boxer has a story now.
Yeah, exactly.
Every boxer runs upstairs.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
If you go to the Art Museum right now, there'll be someone running up the stairs.
Yeah, my cousin's
Yeah, I
husband.
did that. I went there.
He's like a mixed martial arts.
Okay,
teacher
MMA,
at the gym, yeah. And he's like, bro, it's so annoying. He's like, I go for like an actual training session, and then there's people who are like touristly just like running up and down the stairs, and then they leave, and like they're getting in the way of the actual workout of running in that area.
And people do work out there,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of people holding mitts for each other, doing pad work. I've done a half marathon around the Art Museum. Like it's a really good place. But that's the neighborhood that my dad's from almost.
Okay.
Where you see Rocky running through the Italian market. That's the neighborhood where my dad grew up.
Cool.
Yeah, so it just so happens that we were boxers too.
Yeah.
And not drug dealers.
Yeah.
That's the other. There was a big boom of boxers and drug dealers in that neighborhood. So.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of drugs, not specifically drugs.
This is a
but
segue too.
No. I just I think a lot of what surrounds boxing and like the fighting world is kind of like this party culture, this event culture, and like this big event. And like, what was some of the craziest stuff you saw like being a part of like a boxing weekend, like whether it was yours or someone else because like you must have seen some shady stuff just from like going up from amateur to pro. Like you must have seen some crazy stuff like being on televised fights and like getting up into that level.
I mean,
of it.
It depends on what you
Or
call
insulated,
crazy. Like,
yeah.
I've seen DMX get arrested at Madison Square Garden.
Damn.
That was pretty crazy. He was walking Roy Jones out, and I don't know what happened. The only thing I see is him fighting with the cops and getting drugged out. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah. And I'm only maybe 13, 14 at the time. It was like when I first even found out who he was. Like I was in training camp with my dad, and the guy that was fighting Roy Jones was there as well. So that's why and that aunt, she fought there that night as well at Madison Square Garden. And I'm just sitting in the crowd like everybody else, and that his famous song. What's the song? Anyway. Before I take up too much time. The stoner thing. He's walking him out like it's elevated. So there's 2 sections of Madison Square Garden. There's where they play basketball, and then there's the theater part where they do concerts and they do whole professional fights in both places. But this was in the theater part. So DMX is walking down the stairs. my dogs don't fight, my dog, shut them, whatever.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's just like a tussle everywhere, and he gets dragged out from one side of the theater all the way to the other.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's screaming, arguing, hands behind his back. Now that I think about it, what if it was staged? I was only 12 or 13.
Yeah,
He's
so
part
for
of the
you,
show.
you took it as like honest. Yeah.
But I think the whole crowd at the time fed into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, some crazy things have happened to me, like fighting overseas in England. I had to fight a guy who I didn't even see him until we were in the ring. Like, I was supposed to fight somebody else. The day before, any fighter or anybody that tells you that they're a professional boxer, you can look up their record on boxrec.com. And it'll also tell you the fights that they have coming up, if they have them on schedule. So I looked my fight up, and I was supposed to be fighting, I'll never forget, a guy named Daniel Thorpe, because I was training for 2 months over in England to fight somebody that was left-handed. So I look on there the day before the fight. We weigh in the same day. I looked the day before, and it has this guy's name, Mark McCrae. And I'm like, yo, so I'm in another country. Like, it's just me and my dad. Like, it's just not like anybody I can call to change things or whatever. So we're talking to the promoter or whatever, and he's like, yo, don't worry, everything's all right. This guy's coming up from London, which is 3 hours away. We're in Sheffield. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to fight anyway. I don't care. I've been training for 2 months. It is what it is. So you're supposed to weigh in right next to the person you're fighting. You guys seen weigh-ins before, and you even stare each other in the eyes.
Yeah.
I get there, and they're like, yo, he's already weighed in, and he's in his dressing room. So I go into the wrong dressing room by mistake. And they rush us out. Oh, no, you're over there in the other dressing room. So they put us in the dressing room. So there's an A side and a B side. The A side is usually the people that you expect to win. They might not win, but you expect them to win.
Okay.
They had me on the B side, which was with the guys that are supposed to be opponents and the losers.
Okay, right.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm expecting that, we'll at least see the doctor before we fight together or something. I didn't see this guy. So they're like, okay, it's your turn to fight. I'm like, fuck it. So we're walking to the ring. First time I saw him was right before the bell rung. I already had it in my head. I'm just going to go in there and just hit him right off the bat because I don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
And you can see this on YouTube if you Google Tim Witherspoon versus Mark McCrae. I just go in there, hit him with an overhand. Boom! And then that just set the tone for the whole fight. And in the fourth round, I end up stopping him. His corner throws in the towel. So that was kind of the craziest thing to happen to me. And then Jordan has been in the room when I told the story about how they were calling me American cunt.
The British people? Just the audience?
So you know how you know how like soccer they chant, they go, you're watching what they call it football, but you're watching on TV, they're like, whatever.
Yeah.
They're going, American cunt.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I get out the ring, like people are pushing towards the barricades and everything, and I get ushered back to the dressing room. But after that fight, though, I ended up having fans, and the whole town started embracing me and all that. But they're really passionate about their sports. So for me to go over there, and I've done it. I've beat 3 people in England. 3 of their countrymen. So, and now they love me though.
Yeah. Well, you earned their respect by beating their best people.
Exactly. So. Well, they weren't their best people.
Or by beating their people though.
But they try to throw an okie doke in there. They try to get that.
That's pretty cool also, because I think you said in one of the podcasts that in England, boxing is like their second biggest sport.
Yeah, it's their second biggest sport, yeah. For me, being like 4 and 5 and doing boxing is kind of not what people do here. Over there, it's like that's what it is. You know, you're either playing soccer, football, or boxing, or drinking. That's
the number one
that's
sport.
the three things. You know, the other than that, they have like cricket. No one plays cricket.
That's on the weekends.
You know, there's no
family.
basketball hoops on people.
Yeah,
No one has basketball hoops in England or
Yeah.
anything like that. They're playing darts in pubs and snooker.
Yeah.
You know, so boxing is a big deal, man. It's a big deal, and they're good at it.
Yeah. So did it make it a little easier for you to go after to fight someone that you didn't know beforehand, or because
So at that time, like I was saying, I was an asshole.
Yeah.
So I was so cocky. I believed that I could beat him anyway.
Yeah.
You know, but it could have went the other way.
Yeah. How often do you meet someone beforehand, or know the boxer?
Oh man,
personally?
so I've been in press conferences a month beforehand the fight, happens, and you're doing a press conference every week or something like that. I've never been in that situation except that time. You're usually seeing the doctor together, like I said, or when then you get a chance to shake their hand. You know, it's not really like we were prepared for war, but it's still a gentleman's sport, you know. We still respect each other, so there is interaction before you
Do the pleasantries,
fight. But then once the bell rings, that's when it, you go at it.
Yeah.
And then after the bell rings, you guys see it all the time. We hug,
Yeah.
So there's that respect. You get a lot of chances to interact. Now in today's world too, with the internet and everything, there's no way that you can't know who you're fighting.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
YouTube them right away.
Yeah.
And
What was the reason for or did you say the gentleman who was left-handed? Why
Yeah.
he wasn't able to?
I think he couldn't make weight. I think that's what it was. They knew that he wouldn't be
Okay.
able to make weight. So they switched someone. But the whole thing about it is they never told me that. They just switched the opponent.
Yeah, they just be dodging.
So that is, but that's part of the business, the promoters and stuff, they're just trying to make that show happen, trying to make money. And they don't really care about, the fighters or the musicians, the rappers, they get it bad too. The best thing that you can do is like be your own promoter eventually, but that takes money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything takes money.
Everything takes a little
Like
bit
if
of
you want
money.
your own creative.
Kardashians.
Yeah.
Of course. Big family business.
Yeah.
Very smart mama.
Lots of members
Set up all
in different, famous in their own ways.
Yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah.
I mean, the Jacksons really can't count, can they?
They're
They
siblings,
count.
yeah.
Jacksons,
They
that's an
count.
easy
They
one.
count.
That's an easy one.
Yeah. They were in business together, kind of. Yeah.
I mean, their dad was a promoter, I guess, or manager.
Is that your like what are your what do you do when you're not running your businesses?
That's what I'm doing. Running my business.
Besides taking care of your kid and doing like what is your like you're like I need to sit here and just watch Kardashians episodes like.
We all have a Kardashian. Who's your Kardashian?
Well, so I do self-care, a lot of nights, but I still work while I'm doing it. Like, all right, this is how I meditate. I'm gonna tell the world.
Oh yeah.
So I'll turn on some either I'll turn on a podcast and I'll study that, or I'll turn on some lo-fi music or some house music or whatever I'm into at the time. I'll smoke weed when the kids are not up, and then I'll either go over what I'm gonna do the next day or go over my thoughts, my ideas, and just zone out, and like you don't have to be quiet to meditate, you can just do what you enjoy doing, what makes you happy and what gets your energy flowing in that positive direction. So that's what I do as much as I can,
Yeah. A lot of it is you would say like I don't know, planning for the next day, like you're saying, and attitude and reassessing and like about
you gotta I'm dealing with people all day, every day. So that hour or two that I get is really me fucking like cleansing my, but because there's a lot of people that are emotional vampires, I call them. They like to suck your energy away from. Some days I come to the gym and before noon I've already done like 4 therapy sessions. Like so what my fitness instructors here. It's part of the job, right? You got to be a therapist. But who's the therapist for us? So what I do have a therapist. I'm lying. Sorry, Mary. Her name's Mary. But you got to take it into your own hands too, and part of that is just doing what you enjoy at least for an hour.
Yeah.
Changing your mindset, and then a lot of people suffer from anxiety. They suffer from depression, things like that, and really, and it doesn't work for everybody, but a good medicine is just changing what you're doing in the moment. If you're feeling negative, do something that makes you happy.
Yeah. How would you say that boxing specifically, how that has changed over time for athletes to work on their mental health or focus on their mental? Well, everything used to be physical, your physical health, and then that.
So I still think that's lacking in the sport. A lot of boxers don't have that support. So when you're the person that is responsible for feeding everyone, like you pay the trainers, you pay your sparring partners, your manager, whoever, the promoter makes money off of you. You get a lot of people that enable you. It's not really a good mental health sport. And a lot of these boxers are from impoverished areas. They don't have fathers. They don't have the role models or people to teach them about how to take care of their money, how to take care of people that come out of nowhere and try to take advantage of you. I think that a lot of people would benefit from therapy in the boxing world. Or just learning different techniques on how to handle it, because it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, they get a lot
on
of
top of
attention
having to pay everybody, pay your rent. You only get paid when you do fight, unless you have a good deal and the manager that's paying you to live. It's a lot of stress, and at the end of the day, you still have to fight another human being.
Right.
On top of all those stresses, you still have to go to war. So for some people that make money, it doesn't matter. They're still suffering. I always say, and I said it on my podcast, that boxing does one or two things. It either puts you on drugs or it takes you off of them. And a lot of people have turned to substances after becoming famous in boxing, and a lot of people have used boxing as a way to get off of drugs too. So it's a very, 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 very mental sport.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it about boxing? Do you think that kind of for the people who are getting off drugs? What does that do? That
So first, it gives them that discipline. This is something where you cannot just come one day and then think that you'll come back next week and be okay. No, you'll die. So the consistency, the having to be here, the structure helps them. I have a lot of people that are in NA that come to the gym, and being here at 9:30, knowing that somebody's going to be here for you and teach you, does a lot. And not just that, they see their body changing for the better. They're looking in the mirror. People are becoming their family. They're having something to live for. That's what boxing and the community does for people that are in recovery.
I think that's kind of the same with comedy also. That's why it draws a lot of either sober people or people who are very addicted to drugs, because it's whatever those drugs are filling that void, the comedy, the being up on stage, the attention of that also helps fill the void. The having to wait in line and talk to somebody and wait 3 hours to go up on stage, sometimes that helps people.
Right, exactly. I didn't even think about the parallels with comedy and boxing and the tragedies of both. It's funny you say that.
Also, I feel like the business world of comedy is very similar to the business world of boxing.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm sure in boxing there's a lot of people trying to rip you off.
Oh,
a lot of people trying to take
that's the
advantage of
game.
you.
You know, the promoters in music and in boxing and I guess in comedy, their job is to make as much money off of you as possible and pay you the least amount.
Yes.
You know, that's the game. So basically, you as a comedian, you're a prostitute for the party promoter. He puts your name everywhere. You're the one that brings in people, but he makes money.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with boxers. We're the one that risk our life. We do all the training. And then somebody like Don King, who's fat and sloppy, gets all the money.
Uh-huh.
And I will say, though, that it is hard to do it without the promoter as well.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to have, you know, a give and take. You know, I can't keep talking, balance.
Yeah.
I can't talk totally bad about the promoters because I couldn't fight and promote a show.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it would have to be one or the other. So maybe, you know, guys like Floyd Mayweather who have millions of dollars, they can pay people that they trust to run their own promotional company. That's good for them. But for the local fighter, you're at the nature's realm. You know?
Yeah. What's like the process like for an up and coming amateur boxer when they're trying to get into a fight or trying to get in like that promoter to notice them?
So it's different for everyone. You know, for me, the reason why I chose to go professional is because I already had one foot in the door. You know, my father was already famous. Besides me knowing that I could do well, but for someone that is not known, the only way that you get noticed is by performing well. Unless you find some kind of promoter that's shiesty and he'll pay like a cab driver to fight you for like for like 10 fights and then, you know, but those guys, they don't last anyway.
Yeah.
So the only way you get, you know, noticed is performing well in the amateurs, you know, become a national champion or win the Golden Gloves. Go to the Olympics is the ultimate way. And then after that, if you don't get recognition, it's still a grind. You just got to turn pro, and then you're starting all over again. You know, from fight one, and you know, the more you win, the more recognition you get.
Have you promoted your own? Like, have you held things here?
Yeah, I promoted an amateur boxing match before. It went really well as far as the promotion went. I had other people helping me with like things like matchmaking and stuff like that I think could have been better. But overall, the promotion of the show, it was sold out. Omar, you were there, right? Did you come to the boxing match I did here? Outside? Yeah. Yeah. I had a DJ.
Cool.
We had a grill out there. They were ordering kebabs, and I had politicians show up, and police came, and yeah, man, it was good.
Is that something you'd want to do again in the future?
I think it's something that I have to do. It's something that I have to do, just because we have people that want to compete, and it does generate money, but it's not really my passion. To do that, I'd like to do more stuff like this, podcast, and I'm a little, to be honest, burnt out from boxing. You know, I've been doing it my whole life, and I got a lot of other things that I can contribute to the world. So it's like, let's show the world like Tim's not just a boxer.
Yeah,
it's kind of like they say on those NCAA commercials. You're going pro in something else now.
Yeah.
What do you think is like? What do you think is like the biggest surprise of like owning and like growing your own business and like kind of getting out of the performance world and kind of into the like entrepreneurial world more?
I think they both are similar in a way. Like, when you're boxing, you still have to do things like promote yourself and get yourself out there. And basically what the boxing gym is, the teaching boxing is easy. I've been doing it my whole life. It's marketing, you know, letting people know that you exist. That is the biggest difference is how I do it. You know, when I was boxing, social media wasn't really the way to do it. Now it is. So social media plays a big part in bringing people in here and getting them to do it. Then once they're here, it's easy. They're hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But just reaching out to people, finding new ways to reinvent yourself. Like I was a personal trainer before I opened up a gym, and it was just totally different. I just had to show up, train people, go home. Now I'm here, showing up, training people, cleaning, picking up phones, and you know, and on top of all of the other responsibilities, I am the product as well. People come here because they want to be trained by me.
Yeah.
People come here because they want my therapy sessions.
Your job is people, though, in every aspect of it.
Exactly.
It is
and it's being social. And I guess right there hits the nail on the head. In boxing, when you're training, though, even though you have to market yourself, you still can't be around your friends. You can't go to parties. You can't even eat on Thanksgiving sometimes, you know. Now I can enjoy things like sessions with Mary Jane and drink red wine and those kind of things.
What are some other of your favorite ways to like unwind in the suburbs, since you are young black and suburban?
Yeah, all right. No, I appreciate it. Yeah, exactly.
All right, people. Nice meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you too.
Next time.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Omar.
Especially like in this area, because like we're not from this area, but we're from a very similar area. Like we're about an hour away from New York City, so like we have very similar types of people who live out there.
Yeah, well, so I am a dad, you know, so
of course.
I'm 36 years old now. The things that used to be fun for me, like going to the city, going to a bar or something like that, are not fun to me anymore. Like I said, though, besides working 100 hours a week, my other thing that I do is the bowling. You know, I spend, you know, every Tuesday night I go to a bowling alley, and it's for a good cause. You know, we're raising money for charity, and
How long have you been bowling?
How good are you?
Yeah, how'd you get into that? Were you
So-
bowling turkeys a lot?
Yeah. So before I opened up the gym, I had some people that I was training, some older guys, and they're like, "Yo, why don't you come bowling with me? We're going bowling for lunch or whatever." And they were already part of the bowling league, but they were just trying to practice or whatever. So I went there and I got like a crazy, like a 190 or something like that. And they were like, "Well, you should come to our league and you know and see if you like it." So I went there and I just started bowling good. Like not last week, but the week before, I had a THC gummy. And I went to the bowling alley and I bowled a 244.
Nice.
Like,
wow.
Yeah, and it's something where it's just like boxing for me. Like I'm not competing with other people. I'm just trying to do better than myself. So that's really what draws me to bowling. Some weeks I don't do good. Some weeks I get 100, you know, and then like I'm like can't wait until the next fight, which is next Tuesday, and do it again. But also the community that's there, it's everyone that is just trying to get away for 2 or 3 hours. We do have drinks there, and then we go home, and then I'm refreshed and I can go to work the next day.
Have you heard like a lot about like THC and like fitness? Because I feel like I've heard like anecdotally, like I know one guy who runs like marathons high, and he's just like it just like makes it fun to run. Like he's a comic who went to Weed Man's joint a little bit down the street one time.
I wonder if it makes it longer sustainable.
So I can only talk from personal experiences. I would never box high. But because that just won't work. And not to get too much off topic, I'll talk about this and then come back to your question.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't make sense to test us for marijuana because it does not help you at all. I can see, a steroid or something, but not marijuana. Now, I do like to run races as well. I run a couple of 10-milers and a half marathon, and every time, mostly, I have been high on THC. It just makes the zone out just great, It makes it more of a meditation. And I do enjoy that. It's with everything in life. You just gotta be fucking smart about it. You can't be like high and like, I don't know, boxing. It's not good. Or playing baseball. But other substances though have helped people. Like there's this documentary about Doc Ellis. I don't know if you heard of this.
I have seen that one.
He pitched a no-hitter high on acid. He was high on acid.
Oh my god!
He pitched a no-hitter. You gotta check it out, Doc Ellis. So when I was high on the gummy, just knocking strikes down, I'm like, fucking, I'm Doc Ellis right now. I couldn't miss. But it really, I'm joking, but it really did take away the pressure, the anxiety of trying to figure out the lane. I just went down there, and it made me remember every step. I put my foot in the right place. I go around. I look at... When I wasn't high, like that was all sporadic and anxiety felt, But the Delta 8, but last week I didn't take enough.
Superpowers are wearing down.
No, I didn't take enough, so it didn't work. But
you need to take more.
Yeah, exactly. I'm felon on that.
Yeah.
Oh, on the list?
I'm felon, yeah.
You got any more?
The Wayans brothers?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a real good one.
What do you think is... Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. Go ahead, Tim. It looks like you want to say something first.
Muhammad Ali and Layla Ali as well.
Okay, that's a good one.
I know you are a fan of comedy. Who do you think is like the greatest comedian or sketch comedian of all time?
Of all time.
Yeah, or like who's your guy?
I'm not really I don't like all time questions.
Okay, yeah, we don't have to.
Right now. Who are you into right now?
Who's your favorite from the year 1992?
I'm obviously a Chappelle fan. Man. I just like those kind of comedians like Chris Rock, Chappelle. There's a really funny guy who won Last Comic Standing. What's his name? He's a bigger guy.
I'll look it up.
Lavelle Crawford.
Oh,
Yeah, I really like his comedy. Those were all black guys. Let me go to the white guys.
It's okay. Like, good at comedy.
But it's funny, like, I'll watch, like, Mike Epps, for instance, and then, like, I'll watch the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, and it's like, culturally, you have to be able to understand some of these things for it to really be funny to you,
Yeah.
So there's a necessity for different comedians in different cultures. There's that Joy Kai, he's Filipino.
Joe
Coy. He tells hilarious Filipino jokes that are probably funnier to Filipinos than it is to us.
Right.
I just happen to like black comics. I relate to them.
But it's special when you do have that one, because the only Iranian comic I saw was Maj Jobrani. Okay. And then he was saying stuff about his dad, and I'm like, oh my god, that's my Persian father. And
right.
And then you had like that special, because it is closer in relatability. So then you're just like, oh my god, like you get, just super excited when you do find that gem that is, because there's not a lot of Middle Eastern comics, or was it back then, I guess.
And to relate that to boxing is the same way. you know,
Yes.
a Mexican fighter fights, the whole stand has Mexican people in it.
Representation,
You know? Someone from Kazakhstan fights, they're all flying to Vegas, you know, and flying the flags, you know. People like relatable things.
I mean, it's the whole thing with the Olympics. The Olympics is that like you like to root for your for your country,
no matter how much they suck.
Yeah, because there's something about like even if like the world, like the country you're living in, kind of sucks or is doing things you don't like. At least you could be like, well, if my country's team wins, at least they're doing a thing that I just undeniably good if they're winning gold.
We're tribal now. We are.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. As far as my favorite, I would have to say Chappelle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
I
mean, because I feel like I should be digging deeper in the crates, you know?
No, but he's just... Comedy would be entirely different if he wasn't in it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, there was a turning point with his entire career. His sketch also. Like, it's not even stand-up. Sketch comedy. You mentioned the Wayans brothers. When you had In Living Color. Completely different. And you had Jim Carrey's the token white guy. Right. And then, you know, and then one other girl.
So, I like Jim Carrey more as an actor than I do on A Living Color. Yeah. I like Robin Williams more as an actor than I do as a comedian. I don't really like his all over the place. I got my own anxiety. It's just
that's very understandable.
It's hard for me to keep up with him.
Yeah.
You know, some of these guys, I really don't know Adam Sandler's stand-up so much. I really don't like his Hanukkah songs, but his movies are enjoyable. And you know, Kevin Hart's kind of a commercial guy now, and I know too much about like how he comes up with his stuff now that it just doesn't seem fair or it doesn't seem authentic. It seems very manufactured. So I'm gonna just say I appreciate him, but.
That's good. I mean, it does kind of ruin the magic when you see what happens behind the curtain.
Yeah, you got, like, it's like if your rapper didn't write his song, you know?
Yeah.
You got comedians that have 5 different writers on one joke, you know?
It's very odd. Yeah, I guess like when you like get to a certain point, like I guess
you have
busy,
to do it.
Yeah,
right?
but like
it
feels like whenever I see a stand-up special, I see written by blah blah blah. I'm like, oh, they didn't write those jokes themselves.
Yeah.
Like, that's weird. It feels like it's like a part of the territory.
Yeah,
You have to be like writing your material, and it's like you putting yourself and what your thoughts are.
Exactly.
But
and then when it's like, why aren't those guys that are writing the jokes out here? Like,
you
know, doing it. They're
the guys you see at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Once we have comedy clubs that can be open until 2 a.m. again, those are the people who roll in once nobody's there. There's 7 people who are just drunk or on a date that's not ending in sex or something.
You know, yeah, that sucks. But maybe they make money, you know, selling those jokes and.
I have to ask because you're wearing glasses right now.
They're real.
And I wasn't saying they weren't real.
I need them.
I wasn't saying they weren't real. Thank you for the clarification. They're nice. I like that.
Thank you.
Sorry,
did you?
Tim, have you been asked that before? Is that why that you were like ready?
A lot.
I was just asking in terms of when did you need them, and it's from the glasses.
I've only needed them since I opened up this place. Only 3 years.
Okay, so obviously your vision was good when you were boxing.
Yeah, I can still box without them. It's just like the difference between like
Are you
HD
farsighted or
and
nearsighted?
I don't know. I have astigmatism.
Same.
And like, so how I found out that I needed glasses is I told my girlfriend that we needed a new TV, and she said, "No, you need to go to the doctor. You need to go to the eye doctor." So I went to the eye doctor. And they were like, yeah, you need glasses. And then I came home and I was like, wow, this TV's actually pretty good.
As a bonus. Better eyes, better TV.
And so that's how I found out that I needed glasses.
Yeah. I also had it when I was, or found out when I was 6 years old. I had astigmatism too. Like everything is like blurred.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And at night when you see the lights off of cars, people see them 2 different ways. And it's just like, I didn't know
I definitely need them to drive at night.
Yeah.
But like, this is just annoying.
I can see things from afar.
Like, I have to, like, the bigger ones I can see, but I have to struggle and really strain. But this is like HD. We're good. For the people that can't see, I took my glasses off and put them on.
I was just curious because I was just like, oh, you have to. I'm assuming obviously you don't have them when you spar with people.
Nah. Yeah, I've been blessed as far as like I haven't really been injured. Well, I'm lying. I've been injured a lot, but there's like people that have like been cut and like have torn retinas and you know my teeth are dead because of boxing. Dentist had to push them back in. Jeez. I've had surgery on this shoulder. This shoulder probably needs the same surgery, but I'm not fighting anymore, so I don't care. Got out of rehab after I retired for this patella tendon. But other than that,
with having all of that, and like you're aware now that your son is getting into it, like what are some of your concerns or fear, like what you can do to help him be more, you know, like defend more than
So we're known for having really good defense. Like I said, I've never been cut. I've never had a black eye really. Really what it is wear and tear, like I said in the beginning, just being able to do it day in and day out. As far as my son goes, is like I don't want him to do it. Like I'm burnt out from boxing. So now I was like, God damn, we gotta do it again. We all know what we're getting into when we start. So just like my father had to accept me doing it, my mom had to accept me doing it, I have to do it with him. And you know, my father could have died doing it. I could have died doing it. My son could die doing it.
Prepare them as much as you can.
Yeah, but we all know the risk and
right.
Also the reward, you know. You know, if you're a gladiator that everybody wishes that they were, you're gonna live forever. You know, if you're a gladiator that's a coward, you know, then the whole town is gonna stone you. So that's.
And your dad sparred with Muhammad Ali. Is that right? So were you like he brought you as like a baby?
Yeah, I was
like,
a baby there. Yeah.
How cute.
Yeah,
That's
I guess
so
I can't remember it. I went back and visited a year ago, and I was like, oh, this would have been nice if I could remember.
It's somewhere in your brain. One day you'll remember.
Pictures.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got a family photo album.
We got pictures. You know, Muhammad Ali was holding me and my sister. And there's a picture on the door in the gym. You
have some in here.
But he's not my favorite. Okay, he's my favorite outside of boxing, politically wise, and as a person, style wise. So this is why I don't have favorites, because you got to take everything in perspective. I really like Floyd Mayweather. But outside of boxing, I wouldn't want my children to act like him. You know? Yeah. So I can't have a favorite. There's not one person that has everything. But if I wanted to be, wanted my son to be a good fighter, I'd want him to be like Floyd Mayweather. If I wanted him to be a good not a good role model, just a good activist, I guess. I would want him to be like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Float like Muhammad Ali, sting like Floyd Mayweather.
There we go.
What is your perspective on athletes using their platform for political things and activist things, and they're like, you know, voicing their views?
I really think that it's not fair to them to not be able to do it. A lot of people try to silence you know, pro athletes or even musicians, as if they're not human.
Yeah.
They worked really hard to get to where they are. To be able to have the voice that they have, that doesn't mean that they don't have an opinion about things.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's really not fair to people like that to be told to just shut up and dribble the ball. When those people also contribute a lot. You know, I'm here. And people have asked me to run for office and everything. But I'm not going to ever do that.
We'll see once you get it. I'll be your speechwriter.
I'm never gonna do it. But I do a lot for our community already. You know, I raise money for the food pantry. I give away scholarships to my gym.
Mm-hmm.
I do these therapy sessions. We're doing public cleanups next month. We do. I'm not even putting myself on a LeBron James level or anything like that. But as somebody who is well known, at least in my town, I do contribute a hell of a lot, and I do have a lot of opinion. And if someone told me, you're just a boxer or a boxing gym owner, I would be like, nah. And it all ties into me wanting to be more as well.
Yeah.
It's just not fair.
There's also just so much to do. You only have one life, and there's just so many things, I'm sure, that are appealing to you that you don't want to just be in one area doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do this. I don't mind doing this, but I'm in the beginning stages to where it's not running itself. I want to do this and make it run itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once it runs itself, I'll come up with the next idea of what I want to do. But for right now, I'm really entrenched in this. And I'm doing a lot of living. That's my other half right there. I'm doing a lot of living. And you can come in. Sorry. Yeah, you've never met her before.
No.
Yeah.
We're gonna meet her, people.
Yeah.
All of us together are meeting her at the exact same time.
And we're kind of wrapping up too, so if you could tell people a little bit about your future. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's 12:30.
If you want to tell people about your future plans, what they can look for from you.
I mean, as of right now, we're just working on building the gym to making it self-sustainable to where I can get out and do more things and have my podcast a little bit more popular.
Yeah.
I really enjoy doing that. And that's another way for me to express myself and let people know that I'm more than just a boxer. Mm-hmm. So I really would like to, do that more. I do want to do more music.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
Yeah, I can't tell my other half because she gets mad when I add stuff on. Back when I took a little break from boxing early in my career, and I recorded like 17 songs, and I was performing hip hop music, and I always told myself that not to do it to put it out there, but just as a hobby, something that will allow me to express myself in that way as well. I would get back to that. So that's something that I would like to get back to as well. Just writing music and being able to record stuff again. But other than that, man, I just have initiatives with the gym. We want to help out the community still. I want to start an SAT prep program for underprivileged kids who don't have access to teachers that can help them prepare for that test.
Wow.
Yeah, that's something that I'm really, really focused on getting started, along with keeping our NA meetings here going. And we're going to be having a recovery comedy show. He said May something.
In May.
Yeah, in May. The only reason why it happened is because I told Jordan, hey, this comedian hit me up, and he said, he wants to do some shows at the gym, and I was like, it was in the back of my head. I didn't even message the guy. Jordan was like, you should hit him up, and I was like, okay. So
yeah, no, especially just to go back to the recovery conversation we had earlier. Like, I know recovery is tough for people, and especially like the place that we did comedy and stuff in Rhino Comedy. Like, there were a lot of times before we had alcohol that it was like a safe haven for people in recovery. They're like, oh, I could go to a comedy club and watch comedy, and people aren't going to be super drunk all around me and drinking, and I'm not going to be smelling it and being accosted to buy 2 drinks every time I do it. It's a really positive thing for the community.
And what's good is that it's going to happen directly after the NA meeting, so people can come out of the meeting, come into another part of the gym, and they'll be starting the comedy show.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So,
that's so great.
That's something that we like doing. Other than that, man, just thinking about how we can put that positive stuff out there, because it does come back.
Absolutely.
It does come back.
Yeah.
And then having you guys on my podcast. Ezra.
Yeah.
It's the first
As a
crossover
show.
episode.
We'll do it home and home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it. You got 7.
7.
Yeah.
You got, we told you, like, it.
Well, the problem is when you get me preaching.
That's part of the game. Is like people
I
come
start-
in and,
yeah.
and like you said, you get cocky, and then like when you get a couple, and then you like get distracted for a while.
Yeah,
That's
it's
Mary Jane
over.
having her influence.
Yeah,
sometimes.
That's it.
People would have been mad though if Tim Witherspoon Jr. came onto our podcast and just talked about other people. Like, you gotta hear a little bit about him. And
Yeah. It's like, yeah, the Kardashians, whatever. More. What's inside?
Yeah, more about how boxing puts you on drugs. Let's talk about
No, this is
that.
great too. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
No problem.
thank you.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. I enjoy doing things like this, and you guys are doing good things, man. Being advocates for marijuana. That's part of civil rights as well. So I enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, same here.
All right. Well, bid you guys adieu.
And this is the end of the episode. Thank you for listening.